isn't fair to be so attractive, to have been given such charm, savoir-faire, je ne sais quoi. The rest of those poor devils have to wake up in the morning and face the mirror and shudder. Who can resist that smile? Those twinkling eyes, that dimple? Oh, Delia, when are you going to realize you're making so much trouble for yourself, while I have at least had certain compensations? Ray is a delicious diversion. Ah, Ray, you're a wonderful, naughty girl. And I can't get enough of you. And that's a fact. Well, time to feed that handsome face. Gotta keep my strength up. Where did I put those eggs?
You know, I wouldn't mind trading places with this guy for a couple of days.
I'm not so sure in the long run that there's much satisfaction in being a philanderer.
No, but in the short run, it sounds like fun.
Perhaps. Let me have the cassette transfer from yesterday's tapes.
Dr. Coleridge and Mrs. Woodard could have their own talk show. Maybe we're giving them their big break.
I do this for a living. I feel positively slimy.
It's easier than working.
You'll have that new information ready when Mr. Woodard wants it, right?
I'll transfer it to a cassette this morning. You know, the only trouble with being Dr. Coleridge is that someday some jealous husband is going to take a shot at him.
I'm sure that Mr. Woodard doesn't have a thought of that in his mind.
Maybe not now, but after he hears this stuff.
I'll be back later.
Don't lose it.
What?
That's dynamite you're carrying.
You don't have to remind me. I know it only too well.
Walk away with.
Honey, what's the matter?
Everything is the matter. I was just hoping that you'd be here.
Well, where else would I be half an hour before I go on duty? Sweetheart, are you all right? You're not getting sick again, are you?
No, no. Where is everybody?
Oh, well, Johnny had to go to the dentist, and Maeve's upstairs with little John and Ryan. She's really got her hands full with those two.
Okay, well, maybe we could just talk without anyone interrupting us.
Yeah, sure.
Bobby, why is it that I have to try so hard, and I just can't seem to get the kind of life that I want?
Well, honey, I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm not talking about money, and I'm not talking about being famous. I'm not talking about having a purse full of credit cards.
No?
Look, if I wanted to have money, and I wanted to live in a big hotel, I could have run off with Roger when he asked me to, right?
Honey, I don't like the idea of you and Roger, you know that.
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that. I'm glad I chose Pat. Do you understand how much I love him? All I want is for him to love me, and I just want to feel safe.
Well, honey, you were right about the first part. He loves you.
Sometimes.
No, all the time. Are you worried about Faith again?
No, it's something else.
Well, what is it then?
I don't know. See, I look at Pat, and he looks like he's so mad at me that he's about to explode. Now, that scares me.
Well, honey, Pat's not the type of person to explode.
No, well, he just hasn't been acting like himself.
Maybe he's just tired.
No, no. I mean, the strike is over, so he's home a lot more, and you think everything would be wonderful, but it isn't.
Yeah, I know. I got that part of it. What I don't get is what the problem is.
I'm not sure. I just know that something is wrong.
Well, that's a little vague, too.
Bobby, if I knew, then I wouldn't come over here and ask you to help me. I would do something about it myself.
Okay, all right, look, let's start again. Now, can you give me a specific, for instance, something?
Okay, all right. Last night, I started rearranging the furniture around in the living room because I thought the living room needed a new look. So he came into the house and he hated the whole thing.
Well, people like things in their places. I know I do.
Yeah, but Bobby, I was just trying it out. You see, I didn't put any nails in the furniture or anything like that. But he wouldn't deal with it. He wouldn't talk to me about the furniture. He wouldn't move the furniture. I mean, he didn't want to be with me. And then I looked at him and his hands were shaking.
His hands were shaking.
Yeah. Bobby, I'm scared, okay? Did you ever have that scary feeling inside that everything terrible was going to happen and it was going to happen to you?
You mean like tornadoes, earthquakes, stuff like that?
No. No, I'm scared that Patty's going to run off and I'm going to be left alone and the Ryans are going to put me out on the street. I'm not going to be able to get work. And you know what I'll become? I'll become an old shopping bag lady.
Honey, are you okay?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I guess I'm just scared.
All right, now, tell me about the furniture. What happened with the furniture?
Okay. All right, he just sat there for a while, doing nothing. So I thought, well, maybe I should say that I was sorry, and I did, because I didn't want to bother him with any of this. And then, I think he took an aspirin then, and he got very quiet. And I just kind of felt like he wasn't there. Bobby, I just felt lost, and I felt unimportant. Strangest thing is, all of a sudden, he just came back to me.
He came back to you?
Yeah, he just perked right up, and he smiled at me, and he said he was sorry for being so mean to me. And then he said, well, forget about the furniture, and he said, let's just go to dinner.
That doesn't sound so bad.
Okay, well, before we went to dinner, we came right over here. And Faith and Tom were here. And then we went for dinner. Bobby, we got back to the house. He starts moving the furniture back, and he's laughing, and he's smiling, he's making jokes, he's singing. And then the next thing I know, he goes into the bedroom, and he's sound asleep. Bobby, he didn't even say goodnight to me. I mean, that's strange.
Maybe he just ran out of gas, honey.
No, Bobby, that isn't it. 1 minute, he's with me, so I feel happy and I feel safe. Bobby, the next minute, I don't know, he's got this funny look on his face, and I just get afraid.
You told Johnny and Maeve?
No, wait a minute. You have to promise me you are not to tell him, because they're going to blame the whole thing on me. I know that.
Oh,
Bobby, would you just promise me, please?
Okay.
Maybe you could just talk to him, you know, try to find out what's going on.
Well, yeah, well, sure, but I gotta have a chance first.
Well, I think you've got your chance. Here he is.
Hey, Pat? What's the matter? Aren't you gonna say hello?
Hello.
Hello there, you beautiful, sexy, wonderful creature.
Good morning.
Will be when I see you.
That, my dear, is one of those feelings I hope you don't let it show.
Well, that's why I'm calling, to tell you that when you see the cool, impersonal Dr. Coleridge coming down the hall, and when he has difficulty remembering your name, it is Mrs. Woodard, is it? That underneath that unemotional exterior beats a heart consumed with passion for you.
Oh, this is such a nice way to start the day.
I'm glad you think so. Now, if I had my trust...
Roger, stop it. You go on like that, you'll get in the habit, and then you'll say something you shouldn't.
Trust me.
I do. I wish we were together right now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll manage to see each other soon.
I hope so.
Look, darling, I really would love to spend the entire morning talking with you like this, but I want to go in and see Bill.
Harsh reality intrudes.
No, I really am worried about him. It's been kind of down lately. I'm beginning to think something's bothering him.
Well, physically, he seems to be coming along quite well. Look, maybe it's just that he's been confined to the bed so long.
Well, we don't have to speculate because I am going to go in there and I'm going to find out exactly what is going on.
Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Well, nurse is out of the room. I suppose as good a time as any to play it.
I realize that you must listen to it, but may I say I wish it weren't necessary.
Then you've heard it.
While it was being transferred from reel to cassette. I hope you feel I wasn't intruding.
Not under the circumstances. Well?
Well, in my opinion, the relationship that exists between Mrs. Woodard and Dr. Coleridge is essentially harmless, though of a definitely physical nature.
A definitely physical nature.
Yes, sir. But it's not serious.
How many of these non-serious occasions have there been?
Well, I couldn't say, sir, several anyway, but what really concerns me is more important than what happened is the idea of you listening to these tapes in your condition.
Afraid I'll have another heart attack?
I'm afraid that you'll be very upset, yes.
I'm very upset already.
Yes, sir. Mr. Woodard, Mrs. Woodard loves you. These are frivolous meetings.
Royal, put the cassette on.
It's not necessary for you to listen to the whole thing. After a few minutes, it tends to become repetitious.
I'm going to hear every word. I want to know the truth.
Very well.
Are you ready for company?
I'm ready for anything. But what do you think?
Darling, I didn't realize you were going to feed me, too.
Good morning. How's the most wonderful man in the world?
Hello, Ray.
Did you have a good breakfast? Well, how are you anyway?
So-so.
Wow, that's not nearly good enough. There's a very long face. Is something wrong?
So, any
1-800.
Morning, Bob. Hi, Dee.
Honey, how are you?
I'll be fine as soon as I just get one more cup of coffee.
No, I'll get the coffee. I'll get the coffee. Would you like a Danish?
No, thanks.
Hi, Pat. Things eased up a little bit since the strike's over?
Oh, sure. You hurry up with that coffee, honey? I don't want to be late.
Yeah, well, I just have to get a clean cup.
Pat, you know, you're kind of jumpy. Is everything okay?
Sure. Sure, everything's fine. Dee!
Yeah, I'm right there.
Pat, we've been friends for a long time. I think maybe since you were a kid in, oh, I don't know, 3rd or 4th grade. Is that about right?
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, here we are.
Thanks. That's better.
Yeah, and now we're brothers-in-laws, and between being friends for so long and brothers-in-laws, I think I have the right to ask you some certain questions, don't I?
I'm not much in the mood for questions.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about, Pat. It's this mood you're in.
I guess you've been talking to him, huh?
No, I didn't say anything bad at all. I was just a little worried about you,
I
that's
don't
all.
see why you had to do that.
I'm sorry.
Pat, come on. She's just worried about you. She loves you.
What I need right now is for people to just leave me alone. I just need to be left alone.
Pat, what's with the hand?
It's trembling. Haven't you ever seen a shaky hand before?
No, I haven't. Not on you. Now, what in the hell is going on?
What is going on is that nobody in this family seems to be willing to mind their own business.
Honey, I was worried about you. Now, you're saying that I shouldn't have told my brother, right?
No, go tell your brother. Tell my family. Go shout it out in the street. I'm worried about Patty. He's not taking care of me anymore.
No. I didn't say anything like
Well,
that.
that's what you meant.
Hey, can we talk about it just a little bit quieter?
No, because we're not going to talk about it at all. What is this? You pulling rank on me or something?
What?
It's just because you're older than me and you're Delia's brother doesn't give you any right to come poking around in my business.
Oh, Pat, come on. I'm not poking around in your business. I just want to see if I can help you a little bit.
Yeah, well, who asked for help? Did I ask you for help?
No.
Well, then, where the hell do you get off butting around when you're not invited? Next time, wait till you're asked. Gotta go to work.
What? I didn't think I was going to start all that.
You did. And, I didn't. Bobby, something is wrong. Something is wrong, and I know it's with Pat. Did you see the way that he looked at me? Bobby, he looked like he was going to do something to me right over there.
Well, honey, I don't care how upset he is. He's not going to do anything to you. He wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I don't think I can make any sense out of this. Bobby, we had such lovely times together. Where'd they all go?
Wrong? What could be wrong other than the fact that I've been lying in this damn hospital bed a damn sight longer than I like to?
Your heart has to mend, you know that.
Yes, I know.
There's something else.
I think I'm just getting a little bit fed up, that's all.
Well, obviously, we're not doing our job. We're not keeping you entertained.
I have enough to keep my mind busy.
Ah, but you don't have the morning papers. Royal, would you be an angel and go out and get Mr. Woodard the morning papers and any magazines that may have come out?
Mr. Woodard and I were working on a report.
Which can wait, I'm sure. Go along, please. Thank you. You're not happy. Come on, I know you. And I've seen that expression before. It's usually reserved for a pretty big deal.
Sometimes I think you know me entirely too well.
Oh. Hello, Mr. Rodman.
Dr. Coleridge.
Well, how's the patient today? Mrs. Woodard?
Hello, Dr. Coleridge.
I'm doing about as well as could be expected, I'd say.
Oh, do you mind if I take a look? Now, your chart says that you haven't been sleeping too well lately.
I knew there was something.
I don't see what's so abnormal about a man getting restless lying about the hospital.
Mr. Woodard, please. Your pulse is a little up. Any reason you can think of for that?
No. Ray, will you please be careful with that tape recorder?
No, I'm sorry. I won't break it.
How have you been feeling?
About the same.
Chest pains, anything in the arms?
No.
Well, besides having a slightly elevated pulse, I'd say that you don't have anything to worry about.
It's very reassuring.
Best news possible.
Ray, will you, for heaven's sake, stop playing with that tape recorder?
I'm sorry. Look, darling, I'll put it right over here where nobody can damage it.
Mr. Woodard, is something bothering you? You really have to guard against any sort of emotional upset.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm jealous of my possessions. I don't like to see anything happen to them.
Of course not.
Well, it's perfectly safe. Now, Bill...
I haven't slept very well last night, I'm afraid. I've been worrying about a report that was coming in.
Well, isn't it something I can help with?
I have it under control now, Ray.
Are you sure?
I think so. What I want to do now is finish listening to the cassette and then get some sleep.
Well, talk about being hit on the head with a shovel. I think we've just been asked to leave.
Actually, Dr. Coleridge, you might do me a favor. I know that Ray hasn't eaten. Now, if you're through with me and you have a little time, perhaps you'd take her downstairs and see that she has something to eat.
Bill, that isn't necessary.
Well, actually, it would be a pleasure to have breakfast with Mrs. Woodard, but I'm afraid I couldn't get away just now.
Oh. Thanks, anyway.
We'll let you have some privacy if that's what you want.
For a while.
Well, shall I send in the nurse? She's...
Not right at this moment.
I'll see you real soon. Love you.
You too. Oh, Ray, would you mind giving me the tape recorder?
Oh, sure. There we go. I'm yours to command. Bye.
I am, as always, eager to please.
Oh, you do, please. So very much.
It's the final episode of General Hospital Night Shift, and the explosion that rocked the hospital leaves one doctor's life hanging in the balance. An all-new General Hospital Night Shift, Tuesday at 11 p.m. on SoapNet.